Varsity Club, welcome back to another episode of Cascade Valley. We are the #1 team in the nation, and the college football playoffs start right now. Now, for us, again, the #1 team in the nation, things are good, but there's been so much movement in the top 5, 10 area that it's wild. Now, the #2 team in the nation is Texas. They go from number 4 to number 2. We see BYU go from 6 to 3, and we see Ole Miss go from 8 all the way to 4. San Diego State obviously loses to number 15 Boise by 7. They end up dropping from 2 to 5. Florida State goes from 7 to 6. Michigan, choke artists, obviously lost to us. They go from number 3 to number 7. Georgia goes from 13 to 8. North Carolina goes from 14 to 9. I mean, there's just crazy movement. And then obviously LSU going from number 5 to number 13 because they got blown out of the water by Georgia. So what that essentially means is that we will be facing Ole Miss in the first round of the college football playoffs, members of 14 playoff, and then Texas will be facing BYU. BYU has a good record, but not a very good roster, and Texas roster is honestly very good. Now, on some more good news, for the first time ever in school history, we have a Heisman winner in Mr. Jason Barr. 5'9", 193 pounds. This dude is an absolute stud. He had a great week last week with 200 plus yards and 4 touchdowns, and honestly, it sealed it up. Marshall Lowe was doing great things this year, as was McNamara from Ole Miss, who are about to play this week, Anthony Ward, and Davis Tremont, but ultimately it was Jason Barr that got the job done. From an All-American standpoint, Cedric Riley is not going to be there at quarterback because he missed a lot of time this season, but we do see Jason Barr end up getting that #1 running back spot, which he obviously deserves. Offensively, though, we're having nobody else. We see Mark Mullins going there in defense, as well as Bobby Edwards. We're also going to see Josh Cole and Stephen Lowe, both of those guys doing there. Josh Cole did great things in the 2 years that he ultimately got playing time here. Additionally, big change, we're going to see Matthew Fowler as the #1 corner. John Hall is the #2 corner. No Mike Hemphill there at all, which we'll talk about here in a second. Doug Hall comes in at free safety. Strong safety is Ray Walton. We have, again, our seniors showing out between Hall, the second Hall, and then Ray Walton. These dudes run it. And Fowler's only a sophomore. So him and Hemphill will be paired up next year as well, which is going to be incredible. Then we also get Matt Barnes as well on the first team. On the second team, again, offensively, we don't really have a lot outside of Jason Barr. He definitely carried our team this season. We do see Jamal Patterson, defensive tackle, also a senior, go up for an award. We see Mike Hemphill get the second team, but the #1 corner on the second team. Again, if you look at his stats, he was really good this season. He ultimately had 9 interceptions. He had 4 defensive touchdowns, which I think he probably deserved being the #1 corner, but for whatever reason, they thought no. And I'm sure part of it's because he didn't really have a ton of tackles or things of that nature. Look, I get it, but the dude was a lockdown corner all season. Put some respect on his name. And then in the all-freshman team, we're going to see that we have Terrence Williams, who, again, not a crazy year, but 4 touchdowns, 300 plus yards. He was pretty solid overall on that side. We're going to see Wesley Gaines at center. We're going to see Derek Simpson at right guard. In addition, we're going to see Mr. Chris Bass, who, again, had a pretty solid year in the minimal time that he played. He'll be a much bigger player next season. And then quickly to go through the awards, Jason Barr, as well as the Heisman, takes home the Maxwell Award, 1,700 yards on the ground, 31 rushing touchdowns, 400 receiving yards, and then he's going to also have 5 touchdowns of the year. He had a great season. He takes home the Walter Camp Award as well. The man was an absolute legend this season. Hemphill takes home the Bednarik Award because he was the best defensive player on the field, no matter what. I'm telling you. We see Nagurski. We're going to see Mark Mullins. We were racking up awards this season. The O'Brien goes to Davis Tremont for the best quarterback. The Walker goes to Jason Barr again. That man's got to buy a new shelf, all the awards he's getting. Bolitnikoff goes to Jackson. The Mackey goes to Landry. The Outland goes to Sullivan. The Remington also goes to Sullivan. You're going to see Mark Mullins take home the Lombardi Award. The best linebacker goes to Josh Cole. I mean, our team was literally stacked with how good these guys played. The Thorpe Award goes to Mike Hemphill, with Fowler being right behind him, despite Hemphill not getting first team All-American. Again, a little controversy there if you ask me. And then the Groza is going to go to Ostrander, with Hancock being there at 5. And the Guy Award, which you already sort of saw earlier, goes to Mr. Barnes. Oh, and best returner goes to a guy from Michigan, but literally no one cares, okay? No one cares. The college football playoffs are here. Look, we have so many talented players on our team, but we have the Heisman Trophy winner. The Heisman Trophy winner. For the first time ever in school history, a dude that won the Heisman Trophy, and he's about to go off. The big question, though, is just how good is our passing game going to be today against Ole Miss's defense? They've got a really good defensive line. They have a really good secondary, and they've got a really good quarterback as well as the Heisman candidate running back on offense. Also, I want to shout out Braxton Smith, who suggested we rock this uniform combo. So if you think you got a really cool uniform combo that we haven't rocked or that you love, just tell me in the comments below. We might rock it. Barr started off pretty good, but we're not going to have him in the backfield here. Give him a little chance to fix things up. Across the middle, though, is the big Jeremy Willis, rumbling, bumbling, not fumbling, for 21. Riley has an absolutely beautiful throw there. The blocking held up really well for him, and he throws an absolute strike. You'd love to see it. Back here with the run game. Bard shoots himself up the middle. Is going to pick up what looks to be 9, possibly 10, but they don't give him the first. Unbelievably good drive going on right now. We're going to have RJ Riley coming in the backfield. A little fake in the read option. A couple of guys here. We're going to pitch it out. Riley is dangerous in the open field. He turns up and they push him out right before he gets to the 15. Changing the formation up a little bit. We're going to push Sean Stewart over. Little handoff here to Bard. He tries to sneak through for a couple of yards and only gets 2. It's been a really good drive for the team so far. 8 plays deep going on to number 9. Little halfback screen coming up. Bard looking for the blocks on the edge. Doesn't quite get what he wants, and they stop him after only 1. 3rd down coming up. A field goal is not the end of the world here. Again, we got a guy that was on the list for, top field goal kicker in the nation, but we obviously want a touchdown. 3rd down, a couple of yards to go. Riley scrambling. He's got a guy. Throws it as a dot to Tom Baker. You love to see this dude back. You love to see this dude healthy. You love to see him making plays. See what the offense can do on our side, but what can our defense ultimately do? They go straight to the run. Again, McNamara was a Heisman candidate, but obviously lost out to Jason Bard. McNamara had about, I believe, 1,500 yards rushing in the season, about 16 touchdowns. He had a very good year, but again, not as good as our guy, Jason Bard. Montoya, not known for his running. He's trying to get something going here, but he runs into his own guy. We get a sack. I'm not mad at that. I think it's one more for Mullins. And for the record, that sack does go to Mark Mullins, who already has an incredible year. I believe that's sack number 20 on the season. Just extending his own school record and trying to go for that national record as well. Montoya throws a beautiful comeback route. Hemphill gets absolutely embarrassed and make it 4th and 1, though. A great stop, and I believe they're going to punt. Ole Miss does play a little conservative here. They end up lining up for the punt, and we've got the ball with, again, all the time in the world. Taking his time. Riley's got a guy. He throws one deep to RJ Riley, who mosses him. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? Big-time players make big-time plays, and RJ Riley turned what could have been an interception, a 50-50 ball, into an absolute game changer. 2nd and short, couple of guys in the backfield. Double this one off the Bar. Bar with a nasty juke move, immediately hit, but he does get the first. With all the injuries and inconsistencies and different issues we've had just ultimately in general, Jason Barr is actually our leading receiver, as well as obviously our leading rusher. It's been kind of a wild year for him. Nice little comeback route. Robert Ross, get those hands up. The man's got surefire investments going. Inside the red zone, this has been another great drive for the squad right now. Bard does get a shoestring tackle, but he gets 4. 2 minutes left here in the first quarter. We got a chance to go up double digits. Gonna put George Barrett in motion in the right-hand side for a little extra blocking, this little play action. We got a guy, and it's gonna be Baker. Back-to-back touchdowns. You love to see it. This is a dream start right now for our team. We are absolutely feasting against Ole Miss. They are struggling to find anything really good, and as long as we just keep them in check and make them dink and dunk, we'll be fine. 2nd and 2, Montoya again looking for time. His offensive line is blocking incredibly well. Hemphill can't quite get to that one, and the 9-yard play does give him a first. Going to get a little bit of pressure here. Stephen Lowe gets picked up incredibly well. They got plenty of room here. McNamara's going to find some room, and Ray Walton does hit him after 6, but again, the damage is done. Stephen Lowe's got QB spy opportunities. We're trying to get to McNamara and look at the defense. We're going to make sure that Montoya has to beat us today. We are not going to let McNamara get some yards. 3rd down and 5. We're definitely sending the house here. Montoya is panicking. Moses brings him down. Offensive line's not blocking all those dudes, I can tell you that. There hasn't been as much love for Mario Moses as well as Mark Mullins, and I get it. Moses hasn't really had, I guess the success that Mullins has had, but he's still been very good. RPO action here. Barr takes out when he goes up the middle. He's got plenty of yards in that, 12 more. Ole Miss has a single first down for the entire game, and not a single one after that. It's kind of wild to see how bad they've been on offense. And, give the credit to our defense. They've been at it. Riley, though, goes down immediately. No one picked him up. And that's hats off to Ole Miss. They ran a really good play there that we just honestly weren't prepared for. And again, they get a guy through it. Right as Riley goes to throw it, he gets lit up. It's 3rd and 23. The only bright side we have right now is that we've actually converted every single 3rd down we've attempted today. This is just a significantly more difficult one than I think we faced at all. Throwing one down the middle. This one is off the hands of Ben Jackson and Robert Roth. We're punting. That was actually the first incomplete pass all game by Mr. Riley. Now Montoya's trying to find some room here. He does get a little bit. I believe we get Dwayne Cole to stop him after 5. We are going to try to bring a little bit of a blitz. We got Hall sliding over. Lowe tries to pick him up. We got Hall there again, and Doug Hall lights him up for no gain. Again, McNamara we're keeping in check. At some point, Ole Miss has got to try to pass the football. It's just, for whatever reason, they're not trying it right now. So we're going to sit back and watch the pass. Cole watch in the middle. They go to the out route, and Matthews is wide open for 7. Oh, they actually have a wildcat going on. We didn't even see that. They go to the edge. There, you're kidding me. Everyone's... Hemphill can't quite get him. This dude is still running. That's not even McNamara, 44, so they go all the way to the house. Darius Jamison, 62 yards later. He's cut the lead in half. Hats off to Jamison to get to the edge, make a couple of defenders miss, and then keep his feet in bounds when Mike Hemphill was trying to drag him down there at the end. That's just insane, but look at our guy Jason Barrs. I saw you run, but I'm gonna keep doing better. Barrs been really good today, averaging about 6.5 yards per carry. You love to see what he's doing, and I mean, if they can just block for him, this dude will pop off, I promise. Ben Jackson for Ole Miss already has 6 tackles. He's been everywhere on the field, and he's becoming a little bit of a problem. Riley taking his time, sees this guy, gets rid of it. Barr's open. Barr is not going to get the first down to make it 3rd and short. Riley over 100 yards with that pass. He's out here with Barr getting in the backfield and with the read option. Riley's going to keep it, tries to turn up. Riley's got some room. He's going to try to get by 2, but he cannot quite get there, but still a great run by Cedric Riley. There's been so much talk about Cedric Riley and the pressure on him to come out here and make sure this team repeats as national champions, and some people are made for that pressure, some people aren't. We're going to find out this season if Riley is made for that pressure. A dot across the middle to Jared Gold, and so far I think he might be made of it. But the other rumor that's flying around is that Cedric Riley is thinking about maybe possibly somewhere else, because this school is not known for producing guys that ultimately get drafted. You've seen what happened to John McConnell. Great storied career, but didn't get drafted. And some people argue the height card, that McConnell maybe wasn't tall enough to get drafted, but Cedric Riley is the exact same height at 6 foot tall. So the concerns are possibly there for him. This is going to be deep. He's got a guy open. It's Tom Baker. 3 touchdowns in the first half. Are you kidding me, Baker? The things that Tom Baker is doing in the field right now, we're saying, McNamara is back in at QB. Last time Jamison went all the way out here to the edge to go to the house, and we are going to make sure that McNamara does not do the same. That was the 3rd tackle of the game. That time for Josh Cole. They are just not going in the run game right now. Or excuse me, the pass game. McNamara's going to try to get out of here, but Stephen Lowe does bring him down 12 yards later. Like, I know they've had success in the run game, but it's just eerily strange how they have just not opted to pass the football today. Williams comes back in the backfield. Montoya goes to keep that one, but Dwayne Cole said, nah, not so fast, my friend. Fullback in this time. Jamison in to spell out McNamara. They go with the fake, but Stephen Lowe is off there for the blitz. The 3rd sack of the game. This defense is on a different one. Defense getting a little hype up here. Josh Cole watching the middle force, sending Stephen Lowe with another blitz. They pick it up pretty well. They throw a little comeback route. Hemphill misses the route completely, and Hall brings him down. Maybe that's why he's not first team All-American. Montoya, again, has not thrown a lot of passes today, but when he has, he's been pretty effective. So you would imagine at some point they've got to throw some more, and they throw one on Fowler here to Williams for 6. The thing we're noticing, though, is they're not really throwing the ball down the field. It's been out routes or comeback routes, but nothing really deep, and they throw that one, but it's incomplete for the first time today. 3rd and 4, we're going to play the pass the whole way. Montoya does make an adjustment. Cole again sitting in the middle. They throw a beautiful corner route to Matthews, who's wide open for 20. Things getting a little bit of spicy. We're going to have a couple of guys moving around. McNamara in the backfield. They bring another guy in, a receiver this time. We're going to try to get to him. Montoya stops on a dime and gets the first. Ole Miss feeling that momentum at the moment. They're in scoring territory inside the 10. Can they convert, though, with a minute left here in the first half? They go with the read option. We blow up him, and then they go to see what they can do against Hemphill, but he's not having any of it and drops Williams for a loss of 3. And, McMervin's trying to keep things cool. But as cool as Coach Mervin McMervin might have been in the sideline there, he's proud of Hemphill, who has struggled in recent weeks. Yes, he's had the interceptions, but tackling just has looked terrible for him. See what Hall can do. McNamara tries to stiff arm and breaks that tackle. Fowler brings him down inside the 5, but it's 3rd and short now. They're going to hurry up. A minute left. We're trying to do our best here. They throw to the edge, and Hall doesn't make a play for it. Kyle McGee, the fullback, is going to torch one of the best corners in the nation. That's Doug Hall, okay. A top-end corner in the nation. Not one of the best, but still, that one hurts. So going into halftime, we have a 7-point lead. We started off strong, but Ole Miss, they've brought it back to reality. This is going to be a close one. So we get to come out on defense first. Again, Montoya, who had a brilliant end to that first half, is back out here trying to make some plays. He's going to stiff arm Ray Walton, but Walton's not going to have any of it. It's taken them a really long time to figure out the flow of their offense. They've tried different running backs, different looks, different plays, but this sort of like end-around wide receiver reverse or halfback option has been working. Big 3rd down. We're obviously going to be blitzing heavy here. Cole comes in, Lowe comes in. He's going to break that one in. Are you kidding me? Jamison breaks another tackle to make sure he gets the first. Now, that wasn't as impressive as his first run earlier, but he's still averaging 33 yards per carry because, again, he's a tough dude who does not go down easy. Cole tries to bring the blitz in. Montoya's out here running. Montoya's going to challenge, and Muller's trying to take his head off. Ole Miss doing their best to try to tie it up here. Lowe comes in and immediately gets right onto Montoya. He is a nose for the football this afternoon. Stephen Lowe isn't one of those guys that will probably have his name sort of retired up, you know, in the stadium, but this guy will absolutely be a guy that we don't forget about. And Hemphill dropped a pick six. You got to be kidding me. I mean, great deflection, but you got to take that one home. So we don't get a pick six, but we do obviously get the ball back because our team's out here doing some great things right now. Riley, the quick little adjustment. We're going to see him move. And we probably should have just got rid of it because we lose for 13. Above all else, this defensive line for Ole Miss is just a problem. We are struggling to really keep them out of the backfield, and they've been messing up both the run game and the pass game today. Jason Barr is slowly approaching 100 yards. He's about 80 or 85 so far today, but he's going to need a whole lot more to keep this thing moving. We're going to bring Roth across for underneath slant. We're going to send Baker deep. He's getting 3 touchdowns in the first half. Maybe we see more magic here. Underneath, we're going to find Roth, and he's going to get just enough for the first down. Riley still to this point has only thrown 1 incomplete pass. We've had a pretty conservative, I think, sort of play call for him set up today to make sure that he can, you know, be as successful as possible, but he's been good. He's executed. Thornton's going to come in this time to spell out Riley. If he takes a pretty hard hit, he's a little bit of a stinger. We're going to run a little wildcat. Thornton fights his way forward and nearly has the first. He picks up a tough 2. Riley back in the QB with Barr right beside him. He's going to keep that read option, fights up the middle, gets hit hard, but you know what? We'll take the first down, 6 more yards. Our drives a lot today have been really slow, methodical drives that have worked out really well. We haven't really tried to push the tempo too much, but it's been rewarding. A tough one there is Riley. He throws it to Riley, and he may have got a concussion on both sides. So that pass is obviously incomplete here. We got 2nd down again. Go back here to Barr, who has just had a very quietly successful game, and he's going to be pushing even more as he gets 11. That run gives Jason Barr exactly 100 yards today. He has been fighting for tough yard after tough yard. He's just making things happen. Nice little curl route, but there's a little bit of miscommunication, and Willis can't get to that one. Riley back under center. We want to give that threat of the run coming. Another pass, and that one's picked off. We thought we had the inside shot at it. Lane jumps the route, and the first turnover of the entire ball game comes from Riley. A long drive that was great. We got a little overzealous. We tried to curl route in double coverage even though we thinking we had the inside track on it, and it didn't pay off. We're playing this one for the run. I mean, they're pretty much in a power formation, so we're going to be blitzing heavy up the middle, but it's a play action. They throw to the wide open guy, and he goes out of bounds after 3. That could have been more. 3rd down, 6 yards to go. We're playing the pass here. Lowe trying to set an offset for the blitz. Montoya all the time in the world's got double coverage. Hemphill's there, and no shot. Morton goes up with 2 of the best corners in the nation and mosses us. It's a great throw by Montoya to make sure he trusts his guy. And honestly, I think Hemphill probably makes that interception if Doug Hall doesn't bump him off. If Hall doesn't bump him, I think he's got all the space he needs to get that interception, but instead he falls behind and can't quite contest it. And well, while we're dissecting that play, Mark Mullins gets his 2nd sack of the game. Again, just adding that already impressive school record. And Montoya, we see you trying to run. We're not letting it happen. Ole Miss has been really good today on 3rd down. 6 for 9. I think pretty much every team in the nation will absolutely love that. We're blitzing. We'll see what Montoya can ultimately do. Can he handle the pressure? We bring it from 2 award-winning linebackers. They pick that pressure up incredibly well. Montoya, though, gets hit by Jamal Patterson, 2nd-team All-American. He shows why he deserves it. So they've got 4th and honestly pretty long. We'll see how good their kicker is. This is a deep, deep field goal, about 52 yards. Can their guy actually have enough leg for it? And can he be accurate enough? The answer is neither. It's not going to be good. We're going to be lucky because that would have cut the lead to 4, and I would have been a little bit more nervous after that. With 1 minute and 8 left here in the 3rd, because we threw an interception last time, I want to be a little bit more run-heavy in this drive and see what we can do. Barr is going to burst through the middle, showing the speed. They catch up to him, but I don't care. 29 yards later, we're in a good spot. Jason Barr has not been in the end zone today, but good God has he been effective. He has just carried this team week after week, moment after moment, and when everyone else is struggling, this dude is popping off. Again, 13 more yards, 1,868 school rushing record. He's extending it every time. We're out getting Ole Miss for about 100 yards so far. Sean Stewart comes in because Barr, honestly, is pretty gassed from just saving this team yard after yard. Thornton comes back in, this time in the Wildcat, sending Barr over in motion. Thornton looking for a block, can't quite get it, but again, solid gain of 2, just keeping things interesting. We've only missed 1 single 3rd down conversion today. We got 3rd and 6, seeing what our guys can ultimately do. Riley back under center is going to put the other Riley in motion. Going underneath to him, and it's just a miscommunication. That one goes away, and I think we're the ones kicking the field goal now. So a 35-yarder, an award-winning kicker. The wind's blowing back in about 2 miles an hour, but he should be absolutely money here. It's not exactly down the middle, but it is going to be good, and our lead gets extended to 10. Now, if you're Ole Miss, you're kind of kicking yourself because if you hit that field goal, this lead will only be 7, but instead it's double digits, which is going to be tough. We've definitely seen Hemphill slow down, but he did a really good job there getting in the backfield, getting a tackle for a loss, his second tackle for a loss today. A pass across the middle to Williams, and he's going to pick up 9 here, making it 4th and short, but they got to punt it here. This is a incredibly huge drive with 6.5 minutes left. They know we want to obviously run it, so they're putting a lot more guys in the box, but if we can just find a way to get a first down and keep the clock moving, they're in shambles. A little 2nd and 8 action. Safety's pretty far back. Linebackers are in the middle. Maybe we could bounce this one to the outside. Barr does a really good job of just breaking tackles and keeping it alive and making it 3rd and short now. 3rd and 1, 150 yards in the ground. Not a single touchdown for Barr. It's rare that he gets that many yards now ever getting in the end zone. Barr right back at it, cuts it back. You love to see that. Barr showing the speed, and they just get the ankle tackle, and that one was going to be to the house if they didn't. The vision he shows is just, we've never seen anything like it in Cascade Valley before, and we probably never will after he ends up hanging it up. Whether it's this season or next season, we know that he's got a finite time here before he goes to the NFL and dominates. 2nd and short, Stewart in the backfield is going to have Robert Roth coming over. Roth looking for some lanes, but wasn't really going to quite find anything there. 3rd and 4, Riley and Barr back in the game. Into the little halfback draw. Barr is not going to find anywhere to go, and as close as the game is, I'm going to trust our defense here. Barr's had a magnificent game, 155 plus yards, whatever it essentially is. He's been great, but Ole Miss lines up in the I formation. They're going to go for a run, and I don't quite understand the strategy down 10. McNamara had so much pub coming into this game, but we've held him to under 50 yards rushing, which is just unreal. Now, his counterpart, Jamison, we don't really want to talk about that because he obviously popped off. But as much as they try to continue to run the football, we are just dominating right now. Montoya is going to move his tight end over to the right-hand side to get a little bit of extra protection. We bring the blitz. He's got a throw there. We got Hall, and Hall has it bounce off his chest. He can't quite bring it in, but you know what? We'll take the deflection. Ole Miss down 10 with 3.5 minutes left. They punted the football. I can't imagine doing that. We would have never done something like that. Oh no, Jason Barr's down. Dear God, please don't be big. He hasn't even had like an insane amount of carries. We're just trying to, be careful with him, but Barr goes down, and that is one of the worst possible things that can happen right now as Stewart gets lit up as well. Okay, Barr has a strained pectoral muscle. He's out for 2 quarters. We won't see him back obviously today, but come next game, assuming we walk out of here with a W, he's going to be perfectly fine. Stewart goes up the middle. He's going to fall forward, and it looks like he has the first down, and he does. So Barr gets to simply just sit on the sideline and enjoy the views because we're going to have Stewart come in and just pound the rock a little bit so we can walk out of here with this W as Ole Miss takes their first time out. You can't help but imagine their head coach has just botched this game. Montoya had some great moments where he was just absolutely torching our defense, but when your head coach isn't calling for plays down the field, you can't really score points that quickly. And Ole Miss uses their final timeout with 2:09 left. Stewart getting plenty of opportunities to run the football here after not really running it much today. He's going to absolutely keep torching Ole Miss's defense just like Jason Barr did this afternoon. And I will say, though, hats off to Ben Jackson, their team. He's had 14 tackles and counting right now. We've done a lot of runs up the middle that he's been sort of responsible for. And look at Sean Stewart. He says, I'm trying to get in the end zone, coach. I'm trying to. 41 total rushes today, though. The defense is just as good as their defensive line is. We tried to pound the rock and make sure that they had no chance to stop it. We are trying to get Stewart in the end zone here, though, with under a minute left. Going right back to him. Sean Stewart flies forward. And he's going to be a little bit short on that play. Stewart's last chance to get in here. 3rd and 1. Can Ole Miss keep him out? Stewart tries to run through him, and they stop him at the 1, but we will take the production he gave us here. And just like that, Cascade Valley's going to walk out here as the Orange Bowl champions. It feels great. We did what we had to do, but Tom Baker, what he did in the first half, him and Cedric Riley had an absolute unbelievable connection. The routes that Baker was running should be great because the man was on the sidelines for a whole lot of time this season, but he looks stupendous today. That's my player of the game. But player of the game again, they agree with me. 3 grabs, 43 yards, 3 touchdowns. You can agree with greatness. Riley had his moments where he was looking great, but he also has moments where he was not looking so great. Barr was incredible as always, but the injury, not getting any touchdowns, probably took away from it. But Ole Miss, try again next year. We're trying to go back and repeat. We got one more game to do it. Riley, to recap, was 12 for 17, 160 yards, 3 touchdowns, an interception, and 3 sacks, which you could probably argue 2 of those were definitely his fault. One of them, not so much. On the ground, we see Barr go for 166, no touchdowns. We see Stewart spell him for 78 total. Riley goes for 9. A couple of guys, did what they could, but no rushing touchdowns today, which was interesting. In the air, Tom Baker was the offense. 3 grabs, 43 yards, and 3 touchdowns. No one else really scored today from that side. And then on defense, we see Stephen Lowe go for 6 tackles, 2 of those being for a loss. A couple of guys here with 4 as well. From a sack perspective, we get 2 from Mark Mullins, extending his already incredible school record. We're going to see 1 from Jamal Patterson, 1 from Mario Moses, and 1 from Stephen Lowe. Interceptions, we did not have a single one today, but we did have a couple of guys get out there and get deflections in both John Hall and Mike Campbell, 2 of the best corners in the nation, in my opinion. Look, it is a great win in the college football playoffs, and we are 1 game away from the national championship. Excuse me, we are going to the national title because we just won our game today. You take care of business, you go back home, and you see what you can ultimately do. The national title will be difficult. Will it be Texas? Will it be BYU? I don't know who it is. I don't care who it is, but I can tell you one thing. Cascade Valley, they'll be ready. Be safe, be smart, tell somebody you love them. Catch you guys in the next one.